Hey guys, welcome to Zenjin. Welcome back to another video. This is a Daytona 675 standard that has come to us all the way from Raipur, Chhattisgarh for sort of a major-ish issue. I will explain what that issue is once we reach to the stage where I'll be able to show it to you very well. To solve that issue, we need to completely disassemble the motorcycle and get the chassis bare bones in my hand. The issue is in the main frame, so we will be disassembling the whole motorcycle. The whole rear subframe is going to come out, swing arm, front end, everything is going to come out. The chassis needs to be bare bones. This is going to be a 3-part video series, where in the first part we will disassemble the motorcycle, show you what the issue is. In the second part we will try to solve that issue by a local method, by some machining and that sort of a scenario. If not, then we will have to order a replacement part. That will be figured out in the second episode, and in the third episode we will assemble the bike together. There will be a bonus video that we will be doing on this motorcycle. We will be doing a how to valve clearance, because the engine will be out. It will be much easier for me to adjust the valve clearance and make a video on the valve clearance as well. So we will be doing that. As of now, we've started already work on the motorcycle. Fairings and everything around battery is out. Rashid is working on getting the exhaust out. We'll start disassembling the tank. The target for today is to get the engine out, get the subframe, basically disassemble the motorcycle as much as we can. By tomorrow we will have the chassis in hand, and I will show you exactly what that issue is. If you are a Daytona 675 owner, you need to be careful of this thing, this one thing that may cause big issues on your bike. So now you saw the whole process. It took us all day to disassemble and reach this stage. This is the chassis. This is my motorcycle for reference. So now that we've gone through the whole process, let me tell you why we did this whole thing. So there is a characteristic problem in the Daytona chassis and the way that they mount the engine. This I have noticed in my motorcycle as well before I fixed it. This is an engine mounting bolt. The Daytona chassis mounts the engine at 4 points: the rear upper, rear lower, the front back, and the front. So this is your front back and front engine mountings. Now on all of the left side of the engine mountings you have frame adjusters. As you see here, this is for the swing arm, this is for the rear bottom. You can come close, then I'll show you. This is for the bottom, for the front two. So you see these are adjusters. What happens is the engine slides in, then you use these adjusters to close the gap, snug the engine before you torque it down. Now the bike comes all torqued and spec'd from the factory, but with time these adjusters tend to get loose, they can tend to vibrate loose, and the primary adjuster which is most prone to this happening is the bottom rear adjuster, this particular one. Now what happens is, once it becomes loose, because that's where the foot pegs and the swing arm and a lot of the load is, once it becomes loose, this adjuster becomes loose, right? And people don't realize that you need to put this adjuster back in its place. There's a certain way you torque the engine to spec, and what people do is they just tighten the bolt. Instead of the adjuster going into place, they just torque the bolt. When that happens, there's a lot of stress on the bolt, because since this is not in place, the bolt is technically squeezing the chassis together. because the adjuster is not holding the chassis in place. So it's squeezing the chassis together, which puts a lot of stress on the bolt, and the bolt tends to crack. With the space there, the chassis also flexes. With all of the vibrations and everything going through the chassis flexes again and again. And if this keeps on happening again and again and it's not torque, you reach the most disastrous scenario that you can reach, which has happened with this chassis. I'll show you exactly what's gone wrong. I don't know if you can spot, we'll try to show you, but there's a crack in the frame going all the way from here through here, and then behind where it goes all the way like that. So that's a crack in the frame. A new frame for the Daytona is very expensive. I think it goes in the lakhs. I think the last I saw it was quoted somewhere about 2.5 to 3 lakh rupees, something like that. I'm not sure though, don't quote me on it. I will be checking that. So what we are going to do is, before we go ahead and spend that amount of money, the crack has not gone all the way through and it has not dislocated the chassis. The chassis has all of its mounting points still intact in place in the 3D dimension. Since that is the case, what we are trying to do is repair this chassis. So we are going to cut a V-groove and fill the weld in place so that the chassis retains its strength. That's what we are going to do with this chassis. Send it to the machinist, have them fill this in place, check again if all of the points and everything are in place. If that is the case, then we can rebuild the bike back together. If not, we order a brand new chassis, unfortunately, for the client. While the chassis is going there, what we are going to do is we are going to shoot valve clearance video on the engine. That video is going to come out in the how-to series, not in this series. And once the chassis is back, we'll do an inspection video and an assembly video. See you.